Want help to grow your business? Download BRiN, the world's first business advisor in your pocket. To find out more, visit BRiN.ai or search the App Store today.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of Grow Your Business on BRiN. I'm John Petrozzi.
And I'm Suzi Petrozzi.
And we're here to talk to you today about how to start your dream healthcare business. A little bit about us before we dive into the content of today's presentation. Back in 1999, after graduating from university and working overseas for a little while, I had an idea of coming back to Sydney and starting my own business, healthcare business. I graduated as a chiropractor, but in our profession of I think it's sort of common with chiropractors, with physiotherapists, psychologists.
I'm a psychologist.
Yeah, and other healthcare and allied healthcare professions. We don't always have an avenue for public sector work, so we need to go and create our own business. And oftentimes that either looks like our own business, or it might look like a scenario where we go and work for somebody else in their private practice. But I had this idea of starting my own practice, and it's taken probably 18, 19 years of trial and error. And I don't think we've got it right yet, but it's an evolving, I think it's an evolving sort of beast, isn't it?
Sure is.
And today we're going to sort of talk to you about some of the ideas that we've got, some of our experiences of growing our practice. We call it a wellness practice because we've got many other talented practitioners on board. So I suppose this is for you,
Yeah, well, today's presentation is really for you if you're looking at starting your dream practice, or alternatively, if you're looking at growing or expanding your current health practice or wellness centre. Or on the other side of the coin, if you're actually a non-practitioner but you're really keen or maybe passionate about wanting to have a wellness centre and have other clinicians or practitioners do the work.
So in this episode here, we'll explore your options for growing a healthcare business, what requirements you need of yourself in terms of being successful, some essentials of setting up a healthcare business, and there's lots of those.
Heaps.
And some essentials of growth.
So I think the most important thing to think about right here, early on as we're starting this, is why do you want to create a healthcare business? Why do you want to do that? Like John was sharing a little bit about his story, and I knew that I always wanted to have a wellness centre, but I wanted to be surrounded with other like-minded practitioners where, we were a centre that provided amazing services, but I knew I didn't want to do this alone. So it's important for you to know, what is it that drives you? Why is it that you want to start it? What really motivates you? What inspires you? What's the passion? You have to get super clear on that. And does that then fit with who you are? I mean, if you know the reasons, it's likely going to fit with who you are. And also, you have to early on be super clear on what are going to be the direct benefits of your business to your clients. Obviously it's going to be through the health service that you provide, but also indirect benefits of what you're doing. So that might be, okay, so through the services that you provide, you're going to impact people on a whole other level. They're going to become better able to, they're going to be able to live a better quality of life. They're going to be happier members of community, and so on and so on. And lastly then, one of the things that you need to think about, and never shy away from this, is to really hone in on what are the drawbacks of having your own business, because there are many, as we'll share with you. Time, being time poor, not having the time to sometimes work on the business, to develop yourself. And then what are the drawbacks of the drawbacks? Thinking about, what's the drawback of that? Not having time to work on myself and not having time to take holidays, particularly early on, like really being clear on that.
Actually, an example of a drawback in terms of starting your own business, if you're just thinking about it now, is that you've got the opportunity cost, I suppose, of do I go and work for someone else and have a guaranteed wage with guaranteed holidays and sick leave and all those sort of things, compared to the other side of small business, which is, there's no sick leave. If you don't show up, you don't earn an income. So there's always those opportunity costs of starting your own healthcare business.
I spent about I think it was 10 years in the public sector, and then decided that I wanted to go via the, private practice and starting my own business. And, there was so much freedom in that at a cost of not having holidays, not having long service leave, but it's really up to you and what you want for your business and from life as well.
So as a business or healthcare business owner, you're going to be wearing many, many hats. And sometimes it can become a bit, I suppose, what's the word? Frustrating?
Frustrating, confusing, overwhelming.
Yeah.
I can't do this. Can I do this? Can I keep going?
But you do it. And oftentimes, if you're the practitioner who's actually within the practice, you'll be immersed in your patient care because it's the thing that brought you, I suppose, into what, that the healthcare business in the first place, which is to help people. And oftentimes I find is that when I'm with a client, with a patient, doing my thing, helping them, is that nothing else really matters, and it's kind of like you go into a bit of a vortex, which is nice. And that vortex is in a space to help the person heal, get through the situation that they found themselves into, as well as the situation they've come in for your help for.
Yeah, totally.
So it's almost like a little mental break. But when you step back out of that, other hats start to fall into place. And we've got a business owner's hat. And the business owner's hat is an interesting one because oftentimes we don't discuss money. Sometimes also health and money don't go together because people say, well, I'm helping people, so why would I charge them? And it becomes quite altruistic. And I think it's pretty difficult to actually split those two parts. So you just got to try and squish them together the best that you can because your service is worth money to somebody else. If they've come in for a sore back, for a chiropractic consultation or physiotherapy, if they come in for some psychological consultation, it's worth money to them. So you need to be paid. So I think the faster you can make some sort of marriage between the money thing and your providing service thing, the better it is for you and for your clients and your community. I
just wanted to briefly mention that this was a challenge that I experienced coming out of the public health sector and then going into private practice, and that dealing with that exchange of money, and it took me some time and really working on my mindset of, hang on, but this is a fair exchange. I'm helping someone with their life, and they're often serious issues, right? And then to feel guilty or whatever it is around that money, that was just not helping me in any way. So there was a little bit of mindset stuff that had to be done. A little bit, probably more than a little bit, but we're good.
I think mentor and business coaches help, but particularly just trusted mentors who have got a handle on finances and got a handle on small business. I think that's always a really good way to go. If you can find someone who can support you, whether it's a coach or a mentor or a trusted associate or a friend, I think it's really good to always keep talking to people about your goals, and your ideas. A few other hats are the marketing hat. People need to find out about you. I think we're going to talk about restrictions and those sort of things in terms of marketing in a couple of slides ahead, but marketing is essential in terms of your healthcare business. People need to find out about you. You're also going to have either employees or contractors, and you need to find out what the difference is between them. If you're part of an association, oftentimes they've got a HR body or a consultant advisory board that you can talk to and get some ideas, even get template contracts from them also, which will come in handy when it's time to employ somebody. We've got a bookkeeper's hat as well, especially starting out if you're a startup primary healthcare centre, you need to do your books. There's tax obligations, there's BAS. So if you've got a bookkeeper in mind, start having some conversations with them about things that you need to do in terms of setting yourself up.
We just want to break it into simple things for you so that you're aware, and the more simple that you can keep it, and identifying some of those hats and knowing when am I wearing a business hat, when am I wearing a HR marketing hat, maybe when I'm on the phone call to my professional association's HR advising body, just being aware so that you can not always easily, but just make that switch between the hats, because there's also then maybe the next client or patient is waiting for you. But I appreciate the fact that you've had to wear so many hats, and whilst we're in the business together, John spends a bigger proportion of business at home because we've got little ones as well. So there's all of that stuff to consider. But
that's life.
That's life.
That's life, and it's a juggle, but it's also a decision to go into healthcare business as
Yeah.
well, or any small business.
Yeah.
Administrative hat is that one right at the bottom of that list.
Yes.
If you can, once you start to develop your team, which we'll talk about in a second, you want to try and find someone who's really good at looking after the administrative side of your business.
To continue enjoying this presentation, download BRiN, the world's first business advisor in your pocket. To find out more, visit BRiN.ai or search the App Store today.